Hi, this is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com with another episode of Fast Action Fridays. Today, my special guest is all the way on the other side of the earth from me. She's currently down in Australia, and I'm here in Michigan. This is Stacey Myers. And Stacey just does a brilliant job of creating visual content and teaching how to incorporate it into your marketing. So that's what she's here to talk to us about today. Stacey, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, please.
Yes, Kat, thank you so much for having me. I can talk about visuals all day long. So basically in my business, I help people who want to turn their expertise into a business. And so one of the biggest things about that is with any kind of business, but I think especially one where you're your brand, it's really important that people know about you, because all the people that I work with and really have these amazing gifts and talents to share with the world. And if we're not catching people's attention, then they're not going to know about us. And visuals is such an amazing way to catch people's attention. So in the 7 steps that I teach to support people in starting their businesses, visuals come into like at least 6 of the steps, if not all of the steps. And so this is why I think the visuals are such an important component of our businesses.
I couldn't agree with you more. I was working on a project for one of my clients, a book project, and I really needed a visual in my head and to see on paper to really get focused on what the core message was of this book we were putting together. And I know I'm not the only one that really relies on that visual content to help feed that creativity gene inside me, kind of waters it and fertilizes it a little bit. One of the things I love about what I have learned from you is how to do things more quickly with, basic skills. I mean, I've taken some graphic arts training, but I'm a writer and I'm a business person and I'm a marketer. I am not a graphic design expert, but with your tips, I've gotten much more comfortable in what I can put together and what I'm willing to have other people see.
Yes, and you know what? That's such a great point that you bring up as well, is like when we can put together something that we look at and go, oh, wow, like actually like I can be proud of that. And even if you're not proud of your graphic, you're not looking at it going, that's so ugly, I can't even share it. And this is the great thing. Like I'll mention it also as we go along, but my preferred tool is Canva. I love Canva. I think it's really great. There are other options out there. There's like PicMonkey, Stencil, various other ones. And people ask me like, which is the best tool? Now, I personally think Canva is the best tool, but actually the best tool is the one that you're going to use, the one that is easy for you to use, the one that you can find what you're looking for while you're trying to put it all together. That's actually the best tool for you. And sorry, you were going to say?
Oh, I was just going to also say that I know a lot of my clients and followers, and myself included, we operate on shoestring budgets. So being able to do your own graphics is one way of saving money. Now, you don't want to spend all your time there when your time's better spent doing your work that only you can do.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a better grasp on what looks good as a graphic, you're able to relay that to someone else, sign it for you, to finish it up.
Yeah.
You can do a
100%.
Right?
Yes, yep. Yeah, exactly. And also the thing as well is like if you kind of relate it to our website, historically you could never do your own website and you'd be waiting for people, and waiting for people drives me nuts. I like if I have an idea and I want to do something, I want to like be able to get in and do it now. And this is the beauty with the tools that we have now as well, is that if you have something then you can, if you have something you want to create, then you can easily just get on and do it. And you can get it out there. And then if you think, actually, like, I'd like it a bit more polished, or I'd like someone else like that has a bit more of a graphical eye to be able to do it, then you can get somebody else to do it. But it's the ease of use, it's inexpensive, it's like being able to like whip things out quickly. It's just, and as we'll go through as well, like, there are really easy ways you can start to implement more visuals into your marketing that actually don't take loads of time, and so it's not overwhelming, and you can start to really get the benefits of it.
And then once you start doing that, I know that you really recommend having templates, so you're not reinventing the wheel.
Yes.
And you can get a lot of your branded components together really quickly. For those listening, Stacey's got a wonderful free resource that we'll be talking about in a little while, so stay tuned for that. All right, Stacey, what else do we need to know about this? And I know you've got tips in here somewhere for us.
I definitely do. And what I did was I grabbed a few statistics about visual marketing, because sometimes we hear like, oh, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. But it's always nice when you have a bit of research to back it up. So I'm going to go through a few of the statistics, but what I want to do inside of them is, as I go through them, we're going to look at how you can then implement that in your business, so you can use those, like, knowing the statistics to your benefit.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. So basically, it's like 91% of people like visual content over written content. And while I think of it, I'll give you all the source links, Kat, so you can put them in the show notes. If people want to do a bit more research about it, then they'll know where the statistics came from.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then like 37% higher engagement on Facebook if you use a visual over a text. Now, so and as I go through these, start to have a think about like what you're kind of spending your most time on. If you do a lot around social media, then the social media ones might be more of interest to you. If you're a blogger, then like the blogging ones might be more of interest to you. Or if you're all about the conversions, then I have some statistics about how visuals really help with helping you with converting people on your website. And so just if you're not quite clear what I mean by that, is like you make more sales, you have more people opt in if you have some great graphics that go around it. That's basically all that means.
Well, I'm going to assume that people watching this have an interest in visual content, or they're not going to be here. They're going to be watching something else.
Oh, of course.
Or listening.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
But it's having like going through and trying to add visuals everywhere can be a bit overwhelming. That's why I kind of look at like kind of which areas do you want to focus on. And then also we have these great visual platforms, right? So we have our Facebooks and we have Twitter, but that the visuals are great on them. But like Pinterest and Instagram, it's purely all visual content. And so if you're, you can easily like add and increase click-throughs to your website, people hanging around on your Instagram feed, because you know yourself when you go to Instagram, like it's those visuals that catch your eye. If it's boring or ugly, then you're just moving on. Mm-hmm. And so it's really great to be able to do that. And one of the things as well we sometimes get a bit caught up in is that we think of visuals as graphics. Now, visuals is such a massive thing outside of graphics. So you can think about things like video and screenshots and slideshows and infographics and just images that are related to what your content is, even if it doesn't have any words on it at all. And
even
then
a drop cap, right?
Beg your pardon?
A drop cap. When you read a book or an article and you see that big first letter, that sometimes that's a bit of visual content.
Yeah. And see, look, I learned that. I didn't know that's what it was called, but I like those when I read books. Yeah, so it's all of those little things that like tweak and catch your eye. Mm-hmm. And so if you're a blogger, like articles with images get 94% more views. And as well as that, so you imagine somebody comes to your website, and how have they come there? Because someone's shared it. And people share more of your content if it has more visuals in it. So the whole loop is amazing, right? So people come to your blog post and they love it because you've got visuals all the way through it. And BuzzSumo says if you can pop an image in every 70 5 to 100 words, then it actually keeps people in. And we know people are skimmers. So if people are skimming through your content, grabbing bits of your visuals as they go down, then they have a much clearer idea about what your blog post is about than if they're having to sit and read it. And a few great things that you can do. Now, you spoke before about like a guide that we've got that people can have. This is one of my favorite things I put together. It's actually 17 ways to add visual content to your blog posts. And it literally goes through 17 ways.
I've read it. It does.
But there are way more than 17 different ways you can add visuals. This is just a great place to get started. And you don't even have to incorporate them all. You can just pick a couple. And it can be things as simple as you take one sentence out of your blog post and you turn it into a graphic if there's a really important point that people want. And then and what's so great as well is about repurposing content. And so that graphic that you've put onto your blog post and you can share on social media. And so you're taking this, for me, this one base piece, and this is why I put that 17 ways guide together, is you're taking the basis of your blog post, and then just from the visuals you're adding in there, you can use them all over the place. So you can change them for Pinterest and social media. Or you can take a few of those little graphics and turn it into a little video that you can use as well.
Right. Voiceovers. So we're already saving time, money, resources by repurposing our best work rather than just cranking out new work.
Yeah, for sure. And getting people to read our other things, because one of the great graphics that I talk about is, I know, like, we can put a link to, oh, you might be interested in reading this, or there are those plugins that automatically pull a little picture at the bottom of your blog post, like what to read next. But if you have a really nice graphic that leads people onto another blog post, then they're staying on your website longer. And of course, Google loves that. But also they're getting to see more and more of your content and how amazing you are and what you can offer and support people with. And they're kind of hanging around longer and they love it. And then what do people do when they love it? They share it. And so just like, this is the beauty of incorporating just some visuals, makes like impact so many different areas of your marketing. And if you do a lot of like how-to style videos, or you teach people how to do things, like having screenshots, people love being able, well, it's not even that they love it. People learn a lot easier to be able to do something through screenshots and images. Like, I put a table together yesterday for my mother, and I'm constantly referring back to the sheet that has the images on it. But if that was all written, it would have been so much harder for me to be able to put the table together than being able to just go through and look at the images of it.
Wow.
So that's a great thing. As well, if you do the how-to videos or the how-to blog posts.
Right.
And then all of those little screenshots that you've got, again, you can just pop them together and make a little video out of it. Now, there's a program, I think it's called Wave, but I think the URL is wave.io. And it's you can go, there's a free version and a paid version of it as well, and you can go and you can put little videos together and you can upload your graphics and you can do all different kinds of things with them. And then if we then kind of have a look at, like, the reason we're in business is to build a community, to like generate sales and all of those kinds of things, and incorporating graphics makes a massive difference. So we've been talking about our blog, And if we have like what's called we can create a content upgrade for our blog post. So I'll give you an example. So if we use my 17 ways as an example. So I have a blog post that says, here are 5 ways that you can add visuals to your blog post. And then I have this great little graphic on there that says, actually, here are 5. If you'd like the other 12, then you can opt in. And you can have like a little place for people to add their name and email address. But imagine how much more appealing it is if you have a graphic with it, or you have an image of something that they're actually going to get, like the cover of an ebook or a report if you have that. Whatever it is that people can see a visual representation of what it is that they're going to be opting in for. So that's what we call the content upgrades. And they say that with visuals, your conversions go up like at least 7%. So this is a really great thing. And then, when you go and have a look and read a sales page, I love the ones that have the images and the like pictures of people, because you sometimes see people's testimonials and they don't have an image with them, and even just a picture of somebody else on that page breaks it up, makes it easier to skim, makes it easier to read, and then you start to like more relate to the person that's actually producing the sales page. Mm-hmm. So there are just so many different ways you can use visuals in your business.
We could talk all day about this. I think we have sometimes. All right. So for someone that doesn't feel real confident in their graphic arts skills,
yep.
What advice do you have? What kind of fast action tips do you have for them to get started?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to use the word Canva, but you can use any of the graphic design softwares. Okay. So Canva has a free version and a paid version. And inside any of the systems, there are free free images that you can use. And you can so easily go in there. You want to pick the size that you want. So if you want it for, they even have like templates in there. So if you want to do like a Facebook post, you can just search for Facebook post. And not only will it bring up the Facebook post in the right size, there are loads of templates there as well. And so basically you can use one of their templates and then add your own text and everything to it, and it literally takes minutes. I will say sometimes for me, it's the looking for the image that I really want that can take the most amount of time, because I know what I want to say, and then it's like, and we had a giveaway like a few months ago, and I was looking through the graphics, and also you can create things that are a little bit different. So we had this giveaway, and like you quite often see like, oh, it might be like a picture of the giveaway or the people that are doing the giveaway. But all I grabbed this image, and it was really bright yellow. It had a pineapple on it with a pair of sunglasses on. And then, so I was like, this is great. It's stand out. It's fun. Because one of the things with your visuals, actually, that I haven't touched on is that you want them to match your branding. So like, that kind of pineapple thing, that suits me. Like, it's not unexpected for me to post a pineapple with sunglasses on. But if you have a different brand style, then you want to look for the photos that are actually matching your brand style. And then all I wrote on there was something like, have you seen our giveaway, or have you had a chance to grab the giveaway? I can't remember exactly what I wrote on it, but that was all I did. I literally scrolled, found a picture I liked, and wrote some words on it. And that's really all you need to do. And you don't even actually have to have a picture on it. You could just get like a blank page and put a border on it, and Canva and all the systems have loads of little borders that you can pick, and then write some words on it. So even like, I have this statistic here, like 91% of people like visual content over written content. I could just take that one little sentence and write it and add it inside my blog post that I talked about, where I was talking about 5 ways to add visuals to your blog post. And there's a great little thing that took me literally minutes to do, but then stands out. So the goal really is, if you don't feel confident to pull all the elements together in a visual, grab a photo and write on it. My one point is make sure people can see it, because sometimes when we see these graphics, it's like, what is written there? Like it's too small, or the colors like doesn't stand out.
There's too much text there.
Yes, yep. And one great thing, I use it actually quite a lot. And if you've ever been to my website or even my Facebook page, you'll see in the cover images, I have an image at the back, and then I put like a white box over the top of it, and then I make that box a little bit transparent. And you can do that in Canva. It's up on the top right hand side. You can make that a little bit transparent so that it covers the back and has the writing stand out. But you can still see all the elements of it. So if you find this really great image and you're like, oh, but how do I get the words on it? You can do it that way, or you can just pop a little box over part of it. There are all like different things that you can do to make it easier. Because I know sometimes I find a great image and then I'm like, oh, but I want to get words on it. And so doing that little a box over it and changing the transparency a little bit is a great way to do that.
I think another great way, and it's you see a lot of templates like this, is having the square or rectangle, whatever it is, divided, where the words are on a solid background, and then you've got the visual helping with visual appeal overall of what you're trying to draw people in. So
yeah, and it makes such a difference. I'm just putting a presentation together at the moment, and literally any of my slides could be a graphic, and all it is my title, some words on this side and a picture on that side. And I have put a border on it, but leave the border off if you want. And it just makes it look so much nicer.
Exactly. Now, that is a huge tip with tips inside of tips that you gave. We're going to get close to our time soon, but do you have another specific tip that we should pay attention to?
Yes, put visuals in your blog posts. Now, just start small. So most people automatically do a blog graphic, like one for the title of their blog post. And then just think, what's one other thing I can add in to this blog? Is it going to be a screenshot? Is it going to be a tip? Is it going to be, you can even take somebody else's quote and turn that in if it's relevant to what your blog post is about. So aim to increase your visuals each time you do a blog. Or it could be, in this one, I'm using a screenshot. In that one, I'm going to do a tip. And if you have a bank of blog posts already, you could go back and start to have a look and think, oh, that one sentence there, I could easily just take that out and turn it into something without too much time or effort. Because if you start to think, oh, I need to add 17 ways, let me try and cram all these into my blog post, that's of course not going to work either. So there's a nice balance. And that would be my first thing, is just get some graphics into your blog post, because it automatically has a knock-on of, then you've got graphics to share on social media and other places as well.
That's great advice. Really great advice. And I love that you touched on just start doing it. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to get everything in all of them, or try to use all 17 ways, or even more than 17 that we know are out there. So ease yourself into this. And I don't go back and change graphics on old posts. I mean, some of the things I had in the past, I've been around for a while. Those were
Mm-hmm.
kind of the norm at the time. Things
Yeah.
evolved, just like desktop publishing, brought being able to
Mm-hmm.
put out a newsletter easier for so many people. And back when I started, it was still cut and paste, and
Mm-hmm.
you bought a book of clip art that you literally cut out and glued to the page, and then you ran it
Yeah.
off on the mimeograph machine, or you sent it to the printer.
Yeah.
I've been around a while. And now we have graphic programs that make this so much
Yeah.
easier, and
Definitely.
play
Yeah.
around. I found too that sometimes I want to just play and let it
Mm-hmm.
sit there, and then just like writing, come back to it
Yeah.
on another day with fresh eyes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So for those listening, you'll be able to pick up Stacey Myers' free resource called 17 Ways to Add Visual Content to Your Blog Post. Trust
Mm-hmm.
me, people, this is worth getting. And take a look at her other offerings out there. I've already bought 2 of her programs over the last couple of years. And just yesterday, I went through them again because I remembered there was this little tip in one of them and I needed that tip. And her training is so well done that it was easy to find what I needed. And dang, I knocked it out of the park, or so my client said. So, good all along. Well, Stacey, you need to come back someday because I know you've got tons more tips. And I think one of the things I like best about you is just how bright and shiny you are as a personality, and that's visual appealing too.
Oh, thank you ever so much. And I will just invite me back and I'll be here.
We will do that. And this is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com, closing another episode of Fast Action Fridays. Remember to come back next week when I'll have another great guest. And don't forget to keep rocking your unique path to success. Bye-bye.